Hello, this is ScreamAnalysis, and today I thought we would dig into one of the most interesting set of stories, the Black Stickman phenomena. I will give you my thoughts on why this happens, what exactly is happening. But first, let's take a look at a few true cases. In the winter of 1996, two people were returning to their home in Surrey, British Columbia, from a trip to the U.S. when they encountered stick-like beings while proceeding north on the 184th at around 10:30 p.m. Their car suddenly rolled to a complete stop. The passenger looked up and was shocked to see a group of tall, stick-like creatures gliding across the road, approximately 30 feet in front of their car. The group of beings glided across the road from a clearing on the right side to a clearing on the left. Once they had passed out of sight, the car began moving again. Stunned, the two witnesses did not speak to each other about what they had seen until much later. On May 13th, in Brazil, at around 10:30 p.m., two brothers were driving near their home when one of them spotted a 2.5-foot-tall, quote, stick-like entity running on the pavement straight at their car. "What is this?" the brothers screamed out. Interestingly, 3 other cars apparently also observed the strange entity and stopped. The two brothers drove away at a high speed and did not see the entity depart. On Easter, April 5th, 2015, Susan and her husband were driving on a highway to their daughter's house at 9:30 in the morning. It was pouring rain, something Susan found to be quite unusual in Northern California, especially given that the area had been experiencing a lengthy drought. All of a sudden, I saw dimly through the rain-battered windshield a thin black figure, about 12 feet tall, sprinting across the roadway from left to right, east to west, several car lengths in front of us, seeming to dodge the cars, yet lifting up off the road. It disappeared down an embankment, and I didn't see it after that. Very strange. Susan's husband was concentrating on driving and did not see the creature. Now this was in broad daylight, not in the dark shadows down a lonesome road. Therefore it did not strike me as spooky or ominous. As it moved so quickly, it seemed to have some purpose or destination, or just an intent of getting out of the way of traffic. I'm remembering I was more startled than afraid at what I saw, even though it was fleeting and subtle. Since I was in a moving car, there was no reason for fear. Yet I still have questions. And now, this one's my favorite. On May 25th, 2015, a man named Cody and his friend were traveling in the mountains in Idaho when they had an absolutely bizarre run-in with this stick-like entity. Cody recalled that they had just pulled into a gas station at the end of a dirt road. As they were pulling up, Cody's friend blurted out, "What the hell?" followed by, "Never mind." Cody, assuming his friend was playing around, got out of the car to get gas, when something very bizarre began to play out. I pulled up to the pump and got out. I took one step out of the car to the pump, and something made a very loud and scary noise from behind the pump, like a sort of clicking sound, and I saw the tree shake. I jumped into my car and took off as fast as I could. Later down the road, I saw it move quickly at my car from the edge of the road. I just kept driving. I didn't swerve or anything, and I kept silent about it until an hour later. I told my friend what I thought I saw, and then he explained to me he saw the same thing standing at the pump, and it ran off when we were pulling in. He assumed it was his eyes playing tricks on him. As they discussed how closely it resembled a stickman, his friend actually began to cry. Cody noted another strange aspect of the encounter. The weird thing was, it killed my cell phone battery, and my car stereo, and made the lights in the pump grow very bright when it was near. What a fascinating set of stories. So, you'll notice immediately that they all take place in cars. They all take place while driving. I think that this is very significant. as I think that there are two strong stick figure sources. So let's just start with the most basic and then my kind of far out theory on why this is happening. So, the most direct is simply that street signs feature stick figures. We look at them every day. You're looking at these signs, These are essentially sigils. These signs are sigils. So by empowering these stick figure sign sigils, it may be that gives them a degree of reality. I think that is definitely an influence. But then what I think the most likely, or at least the most interesting source would be is, and stick with me, when you were a kid, do you remember playing what I would call the road game, where you're looking out the window and you are imagining a little figure running alongside the car, and maybe they're jumping, they jump car to car, or they're trying to avoid getting hit by the car. But either way, you are envisioning a little figure running alongside the car with you. That game, at least from my experience, has been played by many young people with an imagination. I think that as psychic power is strongest in youth, the most powerful psychic youths are literally creating these kind of tulpas, these egregores. These stick figures are the product of powerful child psychics' imaginations while they're playing the road game. They keep going. These stick figures they exist to go along the road. And so that's what they keep doing long after the child is gone. Though it also may be that, even though the person driving isn't a child, they are seeing the stick figure that the child is playing with, their imaginary friend. But a powerful enough psychic can, literally manifest this imaginary friend, especially something so simple like a stick figure. I think that, iPhone games like Subway Surfer and things like that, as more children are playing games, it was already happening by the time the Game Boy was around and such, but it's sad, these stickmen will be driven to extinction by virtue of the iPad babies. The iPad baby will drive the Black Stickman egregore tulpas into extinction. Well, somebody had commented that they wanted this one done, and this was one that I wanted to get done as soon as I started this series. I really love these stories. And if you have any other topics you'd like me to cover, leave it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, check out my writing on Rick Rubin's tetragrammaton.com and on my Substack, goddisc.substack.com. And as always, remember, screams matter. Mwahahaha!